Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today's Monday, it's December the 12th. So I hope you had a great weekend. Did you get up to anything interesting? Did you go shopping perhaps? Or maybe you went to a play or movie or theater with someone or by yourself? Did you cook a beautiful meal for a family? Or did you treat yourself to something really special yourself? Maybe you went to the spa. Did you have a nice walk? Did you go out in nature? Get out there and explore a new part of your city or town? And did you travel somewhere? Did you go somewhere really cool? Did you do something that was unusual that you had never done before? Did you try something for the first time? Did you go out and have an adventure that turned out to be wonderful? Really love to know what you get up to. I always think about when I start these shows in the morning that you're all out there in different parts of the world, in different neighborhoods, different cities, and you have different priorities. You know, you do things that you love. You've all got different interests. And I did some knitting this weekend. I bought some wool at a local fair, and it's really gorgeous. It's got like threaded fabric with the wool and little kind of sparkles, and I'll show you the scarf when it's done. Knitting is a nice hobby for me. I love to knit. I know a lot of you do too. So I hope you've been watching some of the great videos that we've had with Nancy Queen. She's one of our great interviewees. I met her and interviewed her about beginning knitting, and she gave me all kinds of tips and tricks. The videos are on our website and on YouTube as well. So you might enjoy watching those. She's really, really fun. Great knitter. Anyway, so I've got my cup of tea this morning, and I've got lemon ginger, which is lovely. I often put turmeric in my lemon ginger. It's really good for you. In fact, ginger, anything in that ginger family, according to research, is supposed to be great for your body, for your health. So I hope you got a cup of tea or coffee, and I want to talk to you today. I want to be maybe a little frivolous today on a Monday, about something completely different, although it's a topic that we talk about a lot. Different lens. Now, this is this idea of invisibility. And don't go away yet, because we're not invisible. And one of our bloggers, Elaine Ambrose, wrote an article that was so funny about this topic of invisibility. I just wanted to share it with you. I think she gives us a lens on this topic of invisibility that is very practical and just fun. You know, I think we can't take it too seriously. We're living and moving in a world that appreciates youth, and there's not a lot we can do to change the social norms, but we can make ourselves relevant and important in this world still. So I wonder if you ever had a situation where you felt a little invisible. Well, and what you did about it is really kind of an interesting follow-up question. And Elaine answers this in one of the adventures that she's had with a girlfriend. And she says, first of all, that a tragic reality happens when you're in your 60s, in that you become irrelevant and invisible to the world. And she then goes on to say, we had a friend of mine went on this experience, and this is what happened. But she said that I've got to read this because it's so funny. She said this is how she feels she's invisible sometimes. She said, I could ride a musical neon unicycle through a crowded banquet with my hair on fire and water balloons erupting from my cleavage while juggling like live crowing roosters, and no one would notice. I mean, of course, it's a silly exaggeration, but you feel like sometimes you really could do these extreme things, and like people would just watch you going by. I think there's a kind of tolerance to eccentricity these days, anyway. But the point is, you can try as hard as you want, but you just gotta find other ways to get yourself out there in the world and to be appreciated. So I think the key thing that Elaine mentions is that you've really got to prove that we're not done yet. We've got lots of years ahead of us to be moving in this world, sharing our knowledge, and just living our lives the way we want. I mean, you may say, I don't really care if I'm invisible. Maybe I even like it sometimes. I can do what I want, wear what I like. I don't have to please anybody else. And so, being invisible might be kind of a neat thing to have sometimes. But on the other hand, we do like to be acknowledged and appreciated. And Elaine gives us some really Some good ideas. I think they're pretty good. Now, she gives a very funny story about her and a friend being in a retail store where they get ignored by this very beautiful 6-foot slinky model-esque young woman who steals their attention away from the clerk that's helping them, and how they deal with her in a kind of funny way. But I'll let you read the story to get the whole impact. But she does give some rules for women over 60, rules for relevancy. And the first one that she says, we've talked about it a bit, is just stop being a gracious people pleaser. You know, you can make yourself visible and, be present in the world without having to shout it. You know, you can just not have to please everybody. You're not going to please everybody, as we all know. So just don't be a people pleaser. Just get on with your life. Do your things, your passions. Being, assertive and, and confident is we can have that as well. That's our birthright as well. So the next thing is to create fun plans to get noticed. Now, this is, of course, her and her friend, I think they wore some funky clothes and did something to, draw attention to themselves because they were just a fun, a couple of women. But you can do things to make yourself go with a friend and have some planned responses. Like I often say, honestly, when someone goes past me, like I'm waiting at a counter, there's 4 or 5 people, I've been there first, and then the people keep coming and they get served. I just say, excuse me, am I invisible today? Or, sorry, am I invisible? This is great. And people, oh my gosh, they don't realize. They really do not realize. And I think part of it, and I mean this truthfully, is that others, like maybe younger people, will come to the counter with a kind of swagger or a presence, and they're just like there, and the person who's helping just sees them because maybe they've got something cool they're wearing, or they've just got a confidence in their approach, and that is just natural that they're drawn to that kind of energy. So we have to create that energy too, and do it in a fun way. Maybe get some, she said that they were going to break out into Bohemian Rhapsody together, singing Queen's song to get their attention, but there's other more subtle ways. Maybe you've got some ideas. The other thing is, that Elaine mentions, is that charm is better than bitchy. That there's ways to get annoyed and, make yourself known in a negative way. Like, excuse me, but I was here first. That kind of attitude is much better if you can say something like, excuse me, I'm sorry, but I have an appointment I have to go to, and I've been here a few minutes. You probably didn't notice me, and whatever. Just say it in a smile. Just smile, and they'll immediately warm to you and be drawn to help you. And I'm not saying we have to make excuses for other people, that we have to play a game, but sometimes it's fun, and if you play it with a friend who you agree on your strategy, just make it fun. Elaine's got some good ideas. And, says together we can just sort of say, I'm still here, and I don't need to drive a unicycle through, a neon unicycle through the hallway here to get your attention. I deserve. I'm good enough. I'm worth your attention. And so I think those are some really, really good ideas. And she says, the secret is to have a sense of yourself, that when you know who you are and what's important to you, you can then take a position to get that attention that you deserve. Another thing she does mention, which I should close with, is that we do have a lot of wisdom and a lot to offer other people. And sometimes we can turn a situation, maybe a stressful situation, into a fun one, because we have a piece of knowledge, or we've probably done it 10 times and made that same mistake, or had that same experience. Actually, a funny one happened to me the other day. I was in Starbucks, and this woman was there with her little girl, beautiful child actually, and she was looking at big eyes at all the cakes in the counter, and she was getting impatient because her cinnamon roll wasn't coming. And so I obviously, having had 2 sons, remember these situations where children want something now and they can't get it right away. But anyway, I said, excuse me, but do you like cinnamon rolls? Little girl, yeah. I said, well, when I was little, when I was a mom, I used to make cinnamon rolls, and I started explaining how we would get this like a tube of dough. Do you remember these? And you'd hit it on the side of a counter, and it would pop open. And then inside was the cinnamon roll dough, and then you would put it on a plate, and then you would, sprinkle it with the sugar, which came in a little packet. Now, if I'm the only one that remembers that, I'll be very surprised because I think it was something that was popular, back in the, I don't know, 60s maybe. But anyway, and this little girl was enraptured by my discussion and my description, and her mom was cracking up, laughing. And it was just, for a minute, we sat there just, sharing a moment. And I felt appreciated. I felt like I had something to add. Number one, I helped the little girl stop whining and crying and give her mom a break. But also I was able to share a perspective on something that she didn't have before. So it's kind of fun. Anyway, I think that getting older is a challenge and an opportunity, and we should always take every opportunity to announce ourselves to the world that we're here, we're fun women, we've got things to do, things to share, and I hope you agree. Thanks, Elaine, for the article, though. It's really fun. Read it through and you'll have a laugh, and a good way to start your Monday. And I guess my question for you is, have you ever felt invisible? And what did you do about it? How did you respond? I actually think that the second part of that is more important than feeling invisible. How did you respond when you felt invisible? I look forward to reading all your comments. I'm really excited to see how you respond, and I'll join in the conversation too. And thank you again for being here today. I do hope you have a fabulous Monday and a really great week ahead. And I will look forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow on Mornings with 60 and Me. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.